Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzamus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empath free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. I'm going to talk about the scapegoat and what your family really thinks about you. So this will be per download. I'll just say it the way it comes in. And this video has been inspired by real events, real life experience. I've told you guys that I'm a scapegoat of my family. There's been other scapegoats, but I think I'm the only one who has been able to awaken. I've been the first to awaken. There have been a few scapegoats. We could talk about 2 or 3 of them in the family. But I'm the one who has been able to awaken, the first one to awaken. Now, first of all, let us understand these dysfunctional families. Let us understand these people that they have never loved you as a black sheep. They have never loved you as a scapegoat. They have never liked you from day one. So this love you think you see, that love you think you see, or the friendship or the niceness you think you are seeing from them, apparently, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I have to make you understand this, that it's an illusion. So it's not real. It's not real. It's fake. So those individuals, they don't love you. They do not even like you. On a physical level, they want to do that. You know what I mean? But there are other spiritual things connected to this whole dysfunction, whereby they are unable to do that because they have got to preserve particular individuals in that family. So that's the reason as to why you see you being a scapegoat in that family. It is very easy for them to do a lot of things to you, and they can always get away with it. And nobody's going to ask the questions because I've told you guys, this whole family depends on, relies and depends on completely um, sustaining and and protecting the narcissistic parent who is at the top. Now, being a scapegoat is a very hard thing. It's a very hard thing to be a scapegoat. And you see, the thing is, the only time you're going to realize what your family really thinks about you and what they really always felt, the things that you were never able to see. The real time is going to come to you when that veil lifts, and you're finally going to see your family that actually these individuals, they have always had the facade. They have always held the facade, so they never actually liked you from the beginning. You know what I mean? That is the moment when you are going to first of all snap. The moment you snap and you start to figure out what a dysfunctional family is, and you start to have this finally the name that you can put, because you see, you have always been looking for this name. You have always been looking for the label. You knew these things that were happening were out of the ordinary and they were not normal, but you were trying to find a name for this whole thing. And finally, you found this name. So the moment you find that name for what it is you've been dealing with, that is the very moment you are going to see the real colors of your family members. So this video is really going to help the individuals who are like have a lot of family members. There could be sometimes very small dysfunctional family units. It could be 1 or 2 of them, but usually the ones that I know, dysfunctional family units, the ones that I know, there usually a lot of kids inside there. There could be even 5, 6, 7 of them, even sometimes more than that. You know what I mean? Now, when you leave those families, the first thing what is going to happen, I've told you guys, the family is going to smear your name. There's going to be a very, very big smear campaign. So this smear campaign is going to be launched by the narcissistic parent. So the narcissistic parent, why are they launching this smear campaign? This is because you have caused them a narcissistic injury. That is number 1. So you have exposed them, or you are trying to expose them to other family members. So because you see, the whole thing is that these other family members have been living in this bracket, and they were never able to understand the narcissistic parent for who they really are, to ever see them for who they really are. But you having awakened and come to that realization that this particular person is dysfunctional, And these other members, all the other members of the family, they're all dysfunctional. You are now starting to expose the narcissistic parent at the top. So by doing this, you're actually causing that narcissistic parent a narcissistic injury. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I've been able to see that myself, and I've been able to experience that kind of narcissistic injury. So when the parent experiences a narcissistic injury, they are going to launch a very massive smear campaign against you. So that's why I've told you guys that sometimes you do not have to fight around defending yourself, because you know these smear campaigns are supposed to happen. Remember that you're dealing with a narcissist in this case. And then all of a sudden you are leaving these individuals behind. You know, you're deciding to detach and to walk away from these families. So the smear campaign in every narcissistic dynamic. Anytime you leave a narcissist, you're supposed to know that there's going to be a smear campaign going on, because remember that you are leaving this dysfunctional individual behind, and they have got to protect themselves at all costs. So they are going to go around there to their family members, to your family members, the other brothers, the siblings, you know, some other aunties, uncles, and believe me, you are going to hear the things you never heard in this world. You are going to hear for the very first time what they have always been hiding behind the back, and what they have always felt about you. So they are going to blame you, first of all, for disrupting the entire dynamics. They are going to say that you're the one trying to disrupt the family, you're the one trying to disorganize the family, you're the one trying to bring out all these issues, you know, that nobody wants to talk about, because remember that they have always never wanted to talk about these things from day one. So remember that, listen guys, they are going to blame you for trying to disrupt the whole dynamics of the whole system, and trying to um, disorganize trying to disorganize the whole system, the whole family system, and trying to bring a lot of chaos within the family. So they are going to make sure that they smear your name to that extent, whereby everybody is going to believe that narcissistic parent when he tells them that you're the person that is actually causing the chaos. So what they're actually thinking about you, and what they're actually talking about you, and what they are saying about you, is that you're the troublemaker, you're the trouble causer. So you're the one actually the starter. You're the one who is starting this big fracas of talking about a lot of BS. Because remember that the individuals you're leaving behind, number one, they're all broken and dysfunctional. A person who is dysfunctional, especially in this case, we're talking about the narcissist, the very first thing they want to do is to make sure that they are protecting themselves. They have got to make sure that they clear their name. So for them to clear their name, there has got to be a sacrifice. You know what I mean? So for a narcissist to clear their name, so that they cannot be, there should be no attention put on them, they always have to have a sacrifice, and you're going to be the sacrifice in this case. So you're going to be the person that they're going to blame for everything that is happening in that time. So most of the times what will happen also is that the narcissistic parent now, what is going to do is going to send the team to intensively start spying on you. So that is when you're going to see a lot of these individuals. First of all, before they spy on you, they're going to hoover you. You know what I mean? So they will hoover you. They try to hoover you. They will send a lot of these family members to come and hoover you. But when the hoover fails, because a scapegoat was left a dysfunctional family unit, they already have enough. So for them, it's like game over. They are not taking any more of that that shit and that BS. So they are deciding that they are going to move on and continue with their lives. So what happens here is that now the smear campaign will, the Hoover will fail. You know what I mean? The Hoover is going to fail. And when the Hoover fails, now that's when the the whole smear campaign is going to intensify. So they are going to really, in that smear campaign, that's when you are going to hear. There will be things, people will come around and tell you things that your family is talking about you. And those are the things you'll never ever believe in your entire life. You might have been with these people for 30, 40 years. You might have known them all your life. But that is the very moment you will understand for the very first time that your family has never had your back from day one. Anything the family can do to preserve the narcissistic parent at the top, they are going to do that. So this is something you're supposed to put in your mind and understand this. They are going to do that. They are supposed to preserve the narcissistic parent at the top, because they have all been conditioned. Because I've told you guys, these all fellas are under a spell, and they are all asleep and under a spell. So they have all been conditioned to preserve that narcissistic parent at the top at all costs. You know what I mean? If they can't, even sometimes they will kill for the narcissistic parent at the top, because they have been conditioned very deep. So this thing is a very deep subconscious thing, whereby they are supposed to protect and preserve the narcissistic parent at all costs. It does not matter what is happening. They can even sometimes kill for them, kill for that narcissistic parent at the top, the dysfunctional parent at the top we're talking about. So in this case, the scapegoat, the reason why you hear us telling you a lot of things like you guys are going to step back and pull out of this dysfunction is because you are going to get harm. You're going to get hurt in this case. So in that point of the smear campaign, there is nothing you're going to say. Actually, let's look at it this way. There's nothing you've ever said in that family that is valid. Ever since day one, from day one, there's nothing you've ever said in that family that is valid. So what makes you think that during the smear campaign, when you've left them, you're going to be able to say anything that is valid? So there's nothing you're going to say that is valid, you know. So what is happening is that now a lot of these members are going to turn against you. You are going to hear a lot of crap, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to hear words you've never heard before. You're going to see these chameleons camouflaging and changing their skin in front of you. You hear stories that even sometimes they may send a lot of these. So if you're in these kind of countries whereby there's no security and protection, they may even sometimes send the police. Go and get that person because we think they are running crazy. Or sometimes they may send the medical teams to come and grab you very quickly and put you in those psychiatric hospitals because they believe you could have been going insane. Because remember, guys, you're dealing with a dysfunction. Everything they can do, they will do it to protect themselves. And for a person to be able to clear their name, in this case, protecting themselves, they always need somebody who is going to be a scapegoat. So they always need a scapegoat. They are going to, so that's the problem now because now the scapegoat that they have always put all these blames for them for them to be able to get away with all this BS that they've been doing behind your back. You have left that family unit. Now these individuals are starving and they are suffering because they now do not know what to do with themselves. You know what I mean? So you better expect as a scapegoat that in the early days of the discard, when you guys are leaving those family units, after the smear campaign, because the smear campaign, the period, a lot of you guys have been asking me, how long does this smear campaign take? How long does it take, this smear campaign process? The smear campaign can even take as long as 6 months. This thing can be like going on and on and on and on. But during that process of the smear campaign, the narcissistic parents, so me personally, what I've seen, the narcissistic parent, what they will do, they are going to be very desperate and try very hard to recruit very quickly a new scapegoat in that family. So sometimes you're going to see them bringing in the older member of the family that they had always ignored for so many years. Like in my case, there was a brother I used to fight for, a sibling that I used to usually fight for that they should actually bring closer to the family, and they never listened to me. So when I decided to leave that unit, that is when I actually saw this individual appearing in the family all of a sudden. It had taken a period of actually more than 10 years when everybody had always ignored this individual. But the moment I started exploding, because I told you guys I went supernova in that time. So when I went supernova, that's when they knew that these things were starting to get very serious, and they started very quickly, for the very first time, bringing in that sibling very close to the family, something that they had never done before for a very long period of time. So most of the times, the problem of this whole thing is that now these individuals, they are starving, they are suffering, they don't know what to do with themselves, they don't know where to get their fuel, because remember, a lot of them are toxic. First of all, that's the first thing you need to understand. Many of them are toxic and they do not know where to throw their BS. You know what I mean? So sometimes they are going to do a mistake and throw the BS to another toxic individual. And that toxic individual, because they have not been used to carrying that whole baggage and weight, they are going to retaliate and throw back that garbage to the thrower. So they are going to actually start mirroring each other in that family. You know what I mean? So you are going to see a lot of times the narcissistic parent, for example, they may mirror the same energy as the flying monkeys, or the flying monkeys may mirror another sister may start to mirror the brother. So now you're going to see a lot of this energy starting to mirror between a lot of these individuals. But when that whole thing is happening, they're also thinking very fast, how can we do to re-establish calmness and peace in the family? So they are going to scramble around and look for supply. They are going to scramble around and look for another sheep, another black sheep that they can put there in the family, so that they can be able now to have this new scapegoat in the family. You know what I mean? Because stability is very important in those families. When you're dealing with dysfunctional families, it is very important they have got to be stable as much as they can. So when they cannot be stable, the whole family foundation is collapsing. So they are running around and squabbling around for supply. So you're seeing a lot of these other black sheep starting to come in. A lot of family members who have not been in the family very, very many years ago, many 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they have already, long time ago, they have disappeared. Everybody has forgotten about them. That is when you are going to see those individuals. They are now starting to be dragged back and pulled back into the family. So me personally, I've seen that thing happen in my own unit. You know what I mean? So that's when you're going to know, when you see all those signs, you're going to know that actually these people, they're all broken. And the only person who can see this is you. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why sometimes the truth is very hard to swallow. When you come around and start talking about these things that are, because you remember that you're the truth seeker, you're the truth teller, and you're the truth seeker, as a scapegoat, as a black sheep. You see what I mean? But this whole truth has forever been hidden under the bed sheet, hidden under the sheets because it was not supposed to come out. Now you're the person who is trying to come out and bring it to the surface. It is going to sting a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, that truth may even sometime kill some people. You know what I mean? So remember that a black sheep and a scapegoat, they will talk a lot of crap about you. They will smear your name, and the only thing you can do, you cannot have to you do not have to defend yourself against anything. Remember, guys, you cannot defend yourself with people that are already dysfunctional, because the whole reason why they are calling them dysfunctional is that they don't operate normally. You know what I mean? They cannot operate normally. They do not, and they cannot operate normally. So you do not think so that you going around and defending yourself and defending your name is going to help you. You allow this thing to happen and to flow naturally because it's supposed to flow. That's the whole cycle how it's supposed to happen. So you allow this smear campaign to go on until it can. So it can sometimes take a period of 3 months, 4 months. Like I've told you, it can range between 3 and 6 months. It can go on for a very long period of time. So that's the reason why sometimes you will see a lot of people, your neighbors will stop talking to you, people will stop calling you because everybody has told them what you've done to the family. You're the trouble causer, you are the person who is you're the chaotic one, you're the one who has caused a lot of this drama in the family. So everybody is pointing these fingers at you. And you cannot defend yourself in that time. The only thing you can do is to go away and work on yourself. At some point in time, those individuals are going to see the results. At some point in time, when they awaken, when they come to that sense of awakening, they are going to be able to see the results and the real reason why you left, because everything is going to start to come out to the surface. And a lot of people are going to start exposing themselves. You know what I mean? So for the scapegoats out there, I feel for you. I know where you've been and I know where you're going at the same time. But it is very important to understand you always have got to educate yourself, learn a lot of things from the coaches, from the people who are teaching you. There's a lot of information online. Teach yourself and educate yourself, and you will actually know which steps you need to do to keep on protecting yourself and to which direction do you need to go. You know what I mean? So I would like to know in this video in the comment section below, you personally as a scapegoat, what are the things that have happened to you, and what things have you heard about your own situation, your own case? Let us know that in the comment section below. And until then, guys, book a session with me if you want to. Guys, everything you need, you'll find it in the description section below. And until then, there's no more signing out, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Much love and blessings. Peace.